ஆழ்வார் திருவடிகளே சரணம், எம்பெருமானார் திருவடிகளே சரணம், ஜீயர் திருவடிகளே சரணம், ஜீயர் திருவடிகளே சரணம், தொண்டரடிப்படி ஆழ்வார் திருவடிகளே சரணம், பெரியவாச்சான் பிள்ளை திருவடிகளே சரணம். ஸ்ரீசைலேஷ தயாபாத்திரம் தீபக்தியாதி குணாண்டமம் யதீந்திர பிரவணம் வந்தே ரம்ய ஜாமாதரம் முனிம் ரம்ய ஜாமாத்திரி யோகீந்திர பாத ரேகாமயம் சதா ததாயத்தாதிம் ராமானுஜ முனிம் பஜே. லக்ஷ்மீநாத சமாரம்பாம் நாத யாமுன மத்தியமாம் அஸ்மதாச்சாரிய பரியந்தாம் வந்தே குரு பரம்பராம் யோ நித்யமச்சுதவதாம்புஜ யுக்மருக்ம வியாமோகதஸ்ததிதராணி திருநாயமேனே अस्मद्गुरोर्भगवतोऽस्य दैकसिन्धोः रामानुजस्य चरणौ शरणं प्रपद्ये. मातापिता युवते स्तनया भूतिः सर्वं यदेव नियमेन मदन्वयानाम् आद्यस्य न कुलपतेरुकुलाभिरामं श्रीमत्तदङ्ग्रीगुणं प्रणमामि मूर्ध्ना भूतं सरश्च महताह्वय भट्टनाथ श्रीभक्तिसारकुलशेखर योगिवाहान् भक्ताङ्ग्रिरेण परकाल यतीन्द्रमिश्रान् श्रीमत्पराङ्कुशमुनिं प्रणतोऽस्मि नित्यम्. மத்தொன்னும் வேண்டா மனமே மதிலரங்கர் கத்தினம் வைத்த கழனிக்கு உத்த திருமாலை பாடும் சீர் தொண்டரடிப்படி எம்பெருமானை எப்பொழுதும் பேசு. Divyaprabandham series of lectures in English. We've started enjoying thirumAlai now. We've seen the Taniyan for thirumAlai. Now we'll continue on with the avathArikA. avathArikA for the Vyakyanam. The introduction for the commentary given by Periyavachan Pillai. Periyavachan Pillai brings out wonderful concepts which are present in this beautiful dhivyaprabandham named thirumAlai. He summarizes all of that in his introduction section. Let us go through the introduction now. Alvar, even though have the right to enjoy Bhagavan, just as Nityasuris, the eternal associates of Bhagavan, enjoy him. Since time immemorial, he has been engaged in the samsaram, considering the body to be the self, without understanding even the difference between the body and self, and considering the worldly enjoyments derived out of Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, that is sound, touch, smell, vision, and taste. The enjoyments coming out of these as the only enjoyment, and he was fully immersed in samsaram. Such Alvar, who was born as Vipranarayana, reformed by Periya Perumal. How did Periya Perumal do it? Periya Perumal is Sri Ranganatha. Sri Ranganatha manifested the greatness of his divine names, Tirunama Prabhavam, which reveal Bhagavan's swarupam, true nature, rupam, divine forms, gunam, qualities, and vibhuti, his opulence. All of these are revealed through his divine name. So Bhagavan revealed the glories of his divine names unconditionally, without any reason, without any effort from Alvar. And in this manner, Bhagavan reformed Alvar such that Alvar could enjoy Bhagavan's divine names, and in turn, Bhagavan's true nature, divine forms, auspicious qualities, and wonderful opulence, and also be capable to make others who are desiring of such enjoyment have the same joy. In this manner, Alvar became immersed in Bhagavad Vishayam and gave great joy to Periya Perumal and concludes this prabandam, this dhivyaprabandham named thirumAlai. Right in the beginning, Alvar speaks about the divine names of Bhagavan. In the end also, Alvar speaks about how the divine names, when recited by Alvar, will be greatly accepted by Bhagavan. In this manner, Alvar was fully immersed in the divine names of Bhagavan, that is, in Tirunama Sankirtanam. So that is the theme of this prabandam. Periyavachan Pillai first explains who are samsaris, materialistic people. What is their nature? What is their lifestyle? All of those are explained by Periyavachan Pillai here. Let us see that section. It's a detailed section. These samsaris, they seek in the current world, they earn punya and papa through various deeds which they perform, and then they also go through swarga and naraka as the result of their deeds in this current life and past lives. So these are the people who are known as samsaris. Samsaris are all atmas. They may have human form, they may have celestial devata forms, they may have animal forms, plant forms, bird forms, any forms. In whatever form they may be engaging in activities which will lead to anubhavam in, that is, joyful or sorrowful results in this life, next lives in this world itself, or in swargam or narakam. In this manner, they go through different lives, again and again, different births. How do they get these births? That is explained through Panchagni Vidya in Vedantam. In Vedantam, that is in Chandogya Upanishad, there is a section called Panchagni Vidya. In this Panchagni Vidya, the travel of Atma after leaving this body and acquiring another body and doing this repeatedly, that is explained. When an Atma leaves this body, depending on its punya or papa, it may get swargam or narakam, heaven or hell. These are all separate areas, separate regions. Some people may say that swarga and naraka are our own imagination. It is just state of mind and so on. But according to Shastram, swarga, naraka, these are all different places where the Atma goes and enjoys or suffers. So after going through the result in swarga or naraka, the Atma again comes to the Bhuloka. At that time, the Atma remains in the Akasham, in the sky, without any body. From that Akasham, Aditya, that is the sun, through his rays, takes the mist or snow from the mountains. It is generally said that Himavan, but it can be any mountain, taking the water droplets from the mountains, and the sun, through the rays which has the water droplets now, grasps the Atmas who are present in the sky. Now from there, the Atmas are now placed into the clouds. From the clouds, through the rain, the Atmas reach the earth. And from the water which poured down as the rain, seeping through the earth, Atmas go through the earth and reaches the crops, that is paddy crops or other crops. The water is required for the crops, so through the water, the Atmas reach the crops. And when the crops are harvested, eventually, when they are made as food, they are consumed by different living beings. And through these living beings, the Atmas stay in those living beings, and through the sperm from the male persons, it goes into the female persons, female entities. And finally, the Atma reaches the female entity's womb. And it stays there in the womb for a long period of time, however long it takes for the female entity to deliver the young one. And this is how the travel of an Atma from one body to another body happens. So once the Atma enters into the womb, it suffers there based on the mother's food consumption, depending on how spicy or hot the mother consumes the food. That hurts the fetus in the womb. And then finally, after all the suffering in the womb, which is a very cramped place where the fetus grows, finally it comes out after a long struggle. And when the Atma comes out with a body, with a child body, with a young body, in the Balya stage, or in the Shaishava stage first, when it is a toddler, the child doesn't know how to take care of itself. It doesn't know to clean itself, wipe off itself. All of those dirt remain with the child. Only the mother has to take care of that. So it goes through sufferings there. And then in the child state, when the young one grows into a child state, it spends its time playing without caring about anything else. And then subsequently, when it reaches adolescence, the youth state, it just, Atma goes behind worldly enjoyments, sensual pleasures. After that, when it gets responsibility, it has to work hard in that particular body for livelihood. And then when it gets old age, again it becomes weak, it cannot take care of itself. Finally, death hits the body, and then again Atma leaves the body. In this manner, the Atma goes through so much suffering in the samsara. When the Atma is going through so much suffering in the samsara, how can it be freed? For that, Bhagavan is thinking about ways to free the Atma from this suffering. So through Vedantam, he shows the thOthAthri jnanam to the Atmas. Through many Veda Vakyams, Vedanta Vakyams, Bhagavan highlights that there are three types of entities: Chit, Achit and Ishvara. Chit is sentient Atmas. Achit is all these materialistic entities. Whatever objects we can see by our eyes, they are all known as Achit. They are insentient. They don't have knowledge. On the other hand, Chit is sentient, the Atma, knowledgeable. And finally, Ishvara, Bhagavan, is the controller of Chit and Achit. And Bhagavan also shows through Vedantam that Bhagavan himself is the Antaratma, indwelling super soul which controls everything, who controls everything. That Bhagavan is the Shariri and everything else, all the Atmas and Achetanam are the Shariram. So, manifesting this Sharira Shariri Bhavam, this Sambandham, all of these are shown by Bhagavan, and he also shows the path to the Atmas. That is, when the Punyam and Papam are eliminated, Atma will become free from samsara. And the freed Atma will get ultimate enjoyment, ultimate state of Kainkaryam to Bhagavan in Paramapadam. That is the ultimate goal. So all of these are shown. Now, even though all of these are shown, the Atmas are not realizing these aspects. They are still going through samsara. They are suffering in the samsara, just like fireflies will fall in the fire and die. Similarly, Atmas are not realizing their true nature and suffering in the samsara continuously. Still, Bhagavan is somehow trying to help them. So, once the Atmas realize that it is ultimately best for them to reach Bhagavan, now they may start searching what is the best path for that. For that, Bhagavan shows them Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, all of these upayams. Seeing that, Atmas think these are all very difficult to practice. They take many, many births to accomplish. And then there are so many opportunities to fail. So we cannot pursue these. And they withdraw from those efforts. For that, Bhagavan shows that he is the upayam. Sharanagati is the path. That is, Bhagavan is the path and we have to perform Sharanagati. Even after showing this, the main factor in Sharanagati, which is Mahavishwasam, great faith that Bhagavan will protect us, that is very difficult for many people to attain. For such people, Bhagavan shows Nama Sankirtanam. Divine names of Bhagavan itself being the way to facilitate Sharanagati. So, Nama Sankirtanam is shown as the first step to go towards Sharanagati. It can also independently get the result of attaining Bhagavan. So, that greatness of Nama Sankirtanam is shown by Bhagavan to Atmas. So, all of these are highlighted by Periyavachan Pillai as the theme of this dhivyaprabandham. So, Bhagavan showed all of this to Alvar, and Alvar, pursuing all of this, observing all of this, absorbing all of this, he is explaining all of these in this prabandham also. So, what is the pramanam for Alvar engaging in Tirunama Sankirtanam? Alvar himself engaged in Tirunama Sankirtanam. Even though Alvar is a prapanna, Alvar was completely blessed by Bhagavan. So he did not consider Tirunama Sankirtanam to be his upayam. He merely engaged in Tirunama Sankirtanam as his time pass. After being blessed by Bhagavan fully, now rest of his life he has to spend his time. He spent his time serving Bhagavan through Nama Sankirtanam, and he also, remember, he also engaged in Kaika Kainkaryam, that is, engaging in Nandavana Kainkaryam, making garlands in gardens. He maintained gardens and made garlands for Sri Ranganatha. So, all of these were his ways to spend his time after being a Prapanna, Sharanagata. So, to engage in Tirunamam, divine names, what is the pramanam for that? Vishnu Dharmam is quoted. Already, it is well known that in Mahabharatam, the Vishnu Sahasranam Adhyayam highlights the greatness of Nama Sankirtanam. Apart from that, Vishnu Dharmam, Sri Vishnu Dharmam is also highlighted. There was a king in the lineage of Pandavas. His name was Shatanika. He was a very righteous king. He was very favorable towards Bhagavan. He was very sattvika. He ruled the kingdom in a very proper way. He wanted to show the noble path to his citizens to reach Paramapadam also. Kings were like that in the past. They wanted to show moksham also to their praja, citizens. So he went to Shaunaka Bhagavan and asked Shaunaka Bhagavan, tell me the way to reach Bhagavan. At that time, Shaunaka Bhagavan said, Nama Sankirtanam is very noble way to reach Bhagavan. So, similar to how Shaunaka Bhagavan performed Upadesham to Shatanika, here Alvar is performing Upadesham, or he is speaking to Periya Perumal, Sri Ranganatha directly. Just like Shaunaka Bhagavan spoke to Shatanika about Nama Sankirtanam, here Tondaradi Alvar, Bhaktangiri Renuswamy, he speaks about Nama Sankirtanam to Periya Perumal directly, Sri Ranganatha directly. So, that is the way this prabandam is built upon. Only difference is Shatanika did not know what is the means to attain Bhagavan. Here, Periya Perumal very well knows what is the means to attain him. So, now why does Alvar then speak to Sri Ranganatha about this? This is to bring out the greatness of Nama Sankirtanam, and when the divine names of Bhagavan is spoken by Alvar, it is so sweet. So Bhagavan enjoys listening to that. So all of these are highlighted by Periyavachan Pillai. Subsequently, Alvar also is much greater than other Alvars. This is highlighted by Periyavachan Pillai. Other Alvars highlight Bhagavan's greatness in big prabandams, in roundabout ways. But here, Tondaradi Alvar directly speaks about Sri Ranganatha. Directly he speaks about Periya Perumal only. He doesn't speak about anyone else. Other Alvars such as Mudal Alvars focused on Bhagavan's Paratvam. And they also engaged in Bhagavan's simplicity in thirumAlai. Nammalvar and Periyalvar engaged in Krishnavataram. Thirumangayalvar engaged in all the different Alvars. But Periya Perumal is the only object of Tondaradi Alvar's pasurams. This is the greatness of Tondaradi Alvar. Even Valmiki Bhagavan engaged in Ramavataram. The sages engaged in Vedantam and supremacy of Bhagavan. Parashara Bhagavan engaged in Krishnavataram, but Shaunaka Bhagavan engaged in Archavataram. Similarly, Thondaradi Alvar engaged in Archavataram, Periya Perumal exclusively. So this is the greatness of Thondaradi Alvar, having exclusively engaged in Periya Perumal, the Archa form of Sri Ranganatha, and divine names of Bhagavan. And this Koil, Srirangam, it is great because it is the most enjoyable Dividesham in this world. It is known as Tritiya Vibhuti also. It is a unique place. It is different from Paramapadam and Samsaram. Even though it is within Samsaram, it is different from Samsaram. Even though it is outside Paramapadam, it is greater than Paramapadam because of Periya Perumal's presence, wonderful environment, total engagement in Bhagavad Anubhavam, and so on. Also, this thirumAlai itself is very short and crisp, fully focused on Periya Perumal only, unlike other prabandams which speak about Samanadikaranyam, Vedanta, deep concepts and other things. But here also deep concepts of Vedantam are there, but the focus is on Periya Perumal's divine form. In this manner, this Alvar, this dhivyaprabandham, this Bhagavan Periya Perumal, this Dividesham, everything is unique. And the greatness of Nama Sankirtanam, the greatness of Sharanagati, greatness of those who are surrendered to Bhagavan, all of these are present in this wonderful thirumAlai Divya Prabandham. We have just seen the avathArikA, very beautiful Prabandham, very wonderful concepts are explained by Thondaradi Alvar. Let us see Pasuram by Pasuram in the future sessions. Alvar Thirudigade Sharanam, Emberamanar Thirudigade Sharanam, ஜீயர் திருடிகளே சரணம், ஜீயர் திருடிகளே சரணம், தொண்டரடிப்படி ஆழ்வார் திருடிகளே சரணம், பெரியவாச்சான் பிள்ளை திருடிகளே சரணம்.